Hello, everyone. I'm Jim Garrison. I want to welcome you to this session of Humanity Rising. As we turn our attention to the vast subcontinent of South Asia, and in particular to the nation of India. India has been very much in the news over the last several months as we've heard reports of increasing ethnic and religious violence, sectarian violence. Historically, the partition of India back in the 1947, 1948 independence of India separated the nations of Pakistan and India into Muslim and Hindu majorities. Those kinds of sectarian conflicts have been simmering for the last 75 years, and with the various governments, the violence has ebbed and flowed, and now under the Modi government has increased in both intensity and in frequency. We've also witnessed in reports just over the last several weeks of sexual assault in a very brazen and videoed way, a sexual assault on women by gangs of men. So India, like much of the rest of the world, is in a state of turmoil and conflict. So today we want to turn our attention to what one young woman is doing to ameliorate this situation and bring peace and peace education, also climate action to young people in her province in South India, but more broadly through the internet, the message and practice of peace to that vast nation in South Asia. Before we dive into this very interesting and complex issue, let us just pause, as we always do on Humanity Rising, and simply breathe together. In this tumultuous world, coherence breathing is one of the most effective ways for us to maintain and develop the kind of internal equilibrium and internal coherence that we all desperately need in this increasingly chaotic world. Welcome to Humanity Rising. Let us breathe together. Thank you, everyone. It's my pleasure now to introduce a young woman from Kerala province in South India, Greshma Pius Raju, who since she was 14 years old has had such a passion for peace that she's been developing various forms of peace action training, climate action among young people in her community, and more broadly around the Kerala province and across India. She's passionate from a very early age about what she can do to bring peace to her country and the world. She took her bachelor's degree from the University of Kerala in English. She then got a master's degree in English from the Indira Gandhi Open University, and then another master's in international peace building from the University of Peace in Costa Rica. She's developed what she calls the Ecopeace Cafe, and today she's going to tell us of her journey and her work for peace within this larger context of escalating sectarian and gender violence in India. So Greshma, welcome to Humanity Rising. And I turn the program over to you. And when you're finished with your presentation, I'll circle back and we'll have a larger discussion. But welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jim. And I'm so happy to be here with you all. And today we are going to see like how Ecopeace Teen Cafe started its journey and what motivates me to start this initiative especially for young people and especially teenagers. And also I would like to share my personal peace journey as I started very young when I was just 14 years old. And then we will share about the impact of Ecopeace Teen Cafe and also how can we bring peace through climate action. So Ecopeace Teen Cafe started in 2021 after the second wave of COVID-19 in India. So the plans of starting Ecopeace Teen Cafe started before that, but due to the COVID-19 and the second wave, many people lost their family members. And for me, COVID-19 was a great tragedy for my family. I also lost 3 family members. So it got delayed, and I started this initiative as a tribute to all the people who suffered due to this COVID-19. And we inaugurated Ecopeace Teen Cafe on October 2nd, and that was the Gandhi Jayanti, the birthday of Mahatma Gandhi. So this is also a tribute to Mahatma Gandhi. And so let's dive deeper into Ecopeace Teen Cafe and how we are bringing changes to the world through individual actions. And our vision is to create an inclusive and safe space for young people to have dialogue and equip them to take action for a better and more peaceful world. I strongly believe teenagers are the agents of change, and they can bring big changes in the society, and we have to use their energy. That's why I choose teenagers for this mission. And I also believe that when I was a teenager, I really wanted to bring lots of changes to the world. I have that vision at that time. So I really wanted to share that legacy with the young generation. That's why we call Ecopeace Teen Cafe. And recently we also started Ecopeace Open Cafe. This is Open Cafe is open to all ages. So we can bring people together and share a common space and have more dialogues. And also during this dialogue, we have like lots of ideas come to our mind and we share it with the people. And also people taking the efforts to make that initiative into process, like implementing their ideas. So that's the biggest success of Ecopeace Teen Cafe, like the whole journey since 2021, we are witnessing how people are taking the courage to take actions at their local communities. And so now I would like to take you all to the year 2009, where I started my peace journey. And this peace journey took me to University for Peace in 2018. And then I normally call my life as like before UPeace and after UPeace. So for us, University for Peace is UPeace. So we always call it as UPeace. So it's so I would like to take you all to my peace journey of before and after UPeace. So in 2009, I joined URI, United Religions Initiative. That's an interfaith grassroots level organization. Their headquarters is based in San Francisco. So they have a cooperation circle. Each cooperation circle has like 7 members. So they started one cooperation circle in my school. And during this activities of this cooperation circle, we were reflected on different religions and having interfaith dialogue. So that's how I started like in doing interfaith peace building, like hosting interfaith dialogues among my friends. And one day, one of the peace fellow from URI came to our school, and he was sharing his experience while visiting different conflict affected countries. And he was mentioning about how religiously motivated violence are happening around the world. So that time as a teenager, it was something new for me. I never heard about like such violence, especially religiously motivated violence. As I am from the Kerala, like the south of India, we are living in peace. We are like living together and sharing with all the communities. We celebrate Eid, we celebrate Christmas, we celebrate all the festivals of all religions together. So at that age, it was something new for me. I couldn't even imagine like how religious motivated violence are happening. And especially I studied in a Muslim management school. So the majority of the students or teachers are from the Muslim community. And I am a Christian studying with Muslims and Hindus. It was like not even we think about our religion. We are friends. So this is something that really like shocked me, like how this happened. And after that, I attended one conference on peace building and conflict transformation. There I met a person from Sri Lanka, and she was also like one of the victims of civil war. And she asked me a question, and that question also that question is the real turning point in my life. And she asked me like, do you have a safe water to drink, and do you have a safe place to live in? So I was thinking why she asked me, and I said yes, I have. But she said, okay, I don't have a safe water to drink, and we were witnessing civil war for the last 30 years, and our life like very vulnerable, and her brothers were in the army. So she had all the tensions, and she witnessed every tension. So that also made me think about like why peace is important and why we need to talk about conflict transformation. And during that conference, I was listening to the stories of alumni from University for Peace, and I came to learn more about the course in MA in peace building, and how these people change the world, and how these people have the courage to go to war affected communities or like conflict affected communities, and they started working for the people, and they are so courageous. So that really motivated me, and I was thinking like I really need to do something, and I really wanted to be a part of the solution. And I also think that I never like I saw the news of different wars and conflicts, but that never reached to my mind, or never I never saw that take it with much serious. But after talking with these victims, I also thought that, like, yes, I also needed to be in the solution part, not just see or not just talk, but I really need to take actions. And even it's a small, but I really wanted to take. And I decided at that point, that was in 2011, I decided that I really wanted to do MA in Peace and Conflict Studies. So, and especially I wanted to do it from the University for Peace. And then it was a dream, and it took almost 7 years. I reached University for Peace in the year 2018. And that was another kind of another transformation happened during that journey. Like, the 1 year was like every moment I learned something new. Every moment I met people from different background and different cultures, and we were sharing like common values, and we are trying to understand people without any judgment. We were listening every thoughts without any judgment. That was kind of new to me. Like, I also learned how to listen others without judgments, and how to embrace the differences, how to appreciate differences, and also realize that when we have differences or diversities, it's we can also come together and unite in peace, and we can talk about peace and bring changes. So I was learning from each person in the university. We were from 50 different countries, and we were like 200 people from different parts of the world, but we are sharing this common goal and sharing this common value of peace. That was giving me like more inspiration and more motivation to do and initiate Ecopeace Teen Cafe. And during that time, I did my internship at Earth Charter International, and their secretariat also based in the campus of University for Peace. So Earth Charter is a document that consists of 16 principles. So these 16 principles are like the 10 commandments. Like, they are really powerful. The visionaries documented these 16 principles in 2000, and they have like real potential to change the world. And one of my tasks was to like find out the impacts of Earth Charter International and their movement all over the world. And while I go through the annual reports of Earth Charter, I realized how people use Earth Charter to bring peace to the world. So during this 6 months of internship, I learned every annual reports, and I learned how people use this document to bring people together and make changes in the world and create and bigger impacts even in the conflict affected societies. So I really wanted to take this document to India and share it with the younger generation. That's why this is called Ecopeace Teen Cafe. In 2018, my state, Kerala, witnessed heavy floods that also affected all people without any discrimination in the state. And when I learned about climate change in my younger days, I thought this is something happened in somewhere. It won't affect us. But 2018 and in 2017, we had a cyclone Oki, and my place was not prone to cyclones, but that was the first time cyclones were happened to my place also. So the climate change is here, and I thought, yeah, I really wanted to share this with my younger generation and inspire them to take actions, inspire them to take their own small compassionate actions. And also I wanted to educate them about the climate change. So I took the Earth Charter from Costa Rica, and I really wanted to share that with the younger generation in India. So after my graduation, I came back to India and started working with some schools and shared this message and did some workshops with them. At that point, COVID came and life changes, and the most hardest time of the life happened that time. And then we decided like how to turn challenges to opportunities. I use we because this Ecopeace Teen Cafe is only possible with the help of lots of people out there. Like we started with limited resources. We almost don't have any kind of money. Like we started with zero money, but we had like support from everywhere. Lots of organizations support us to start this initiative, and people 12 volunteers joined us, 12 global volunteers. They were from Honduras, Nigeria, India, and US, and they were joined from different parts of the world, and they come together, and 30 teenagers were the first young people who joined us. They were like, they gave me the motivation to continue this work. They came every Saturdays. We host these cafe meetings on Saturdays, and we discussed on different topics from community building to peace building. So we have 4 modules. The first one is community building, as we are a diverse community who are from different parts of the world coming together for a certain period of time. So we build this as a community. So the first session will be like community building, and the second will be on nature, love for nature, and we discussed more about environment conservation. And the first module, we bring people together, and we like, I don't say like we teach them to love, because we all know how to love. So the first module, we love each other, and we create a community, we create a new Ecopeace family. Then we move to nature, and we bring nature as a friend, and we bring nature as part of our life. So we call that module as love for nature. And the third module, we discuss more on social justice, and we discuss about how to create more equal and just world, and how to bring equality, equity, and justice to our life, and how to bring gender equality at home. So we have those dialogues during this third module, and the fourth module is about peace building. And most of the times we talk about non-violence communication. We train them on how to listen others, without any kind of judgments. So this is how we structured the modules of Ecopeace Teen Cafe, and this is inspired by Earth Charter. The 4 pillars of Earth Charter deals with community building, environment, ecological integrity, and then social justice, and the final one is peace and development, non-violence, peace and development. So this is how we structured our modules. And each and every moment, I experience how people love each other, and how we bring changes to the world from 2021 till now. Like we reached Asia, Latin America, and Africa. In Africa, we did this program in French language. So I don't speak French, and I don't even understand a word in French, but my friends from the University for Peace, who are like French speaking, they came for the facilitation. And also our coordinators from Cameroon and DR Congo helped a lot to implement this program for the young people in Africa. And also we did one program in Spanish for the Latin America. And for that also we had facilitators from the Latin America, like from the Spanish speaking countries. That also my friends came for the facilitation. So like how the friends come together for a global movement, how friends come together to bring impact. So this all happened because of the University for Peace and the kind of affection we built. And it's not just from our batch, but from all the alumni who we all are like one family. So whenever we need their help, they are ready to help us. And no one takes any kind of money or any kind of gifts from me. They all volunteered for this program. So this is how we build and how we turning the challenges to opportunities. So that's how we build this community. And in 2022, we celebrated World Interfaith Harmony Week by doing 1-month conference. So we host 1-month conference with the support of these volunteers, and we learned a lot. we all are young people and we all are under 30. So how young people can bring more changes in the world? And it's like online meetings. Every day we host some kind of like dialogue, some kind of panel discussions, and people coming together and discussing about how we can bring changes and challenges. They were sharing their challenges and their learnings. So that was kind of a great learning for all of us. And these are the words that inspired me a lot. We are one citizen of different nations and of one world in which the local and global are linked. Everyone shares responsibility for the present and future well-being of the human family and the larger living world. The spirit of human solidarity and kinship with all life is strengthened when we live with reverence for the gift of life and humility regarding the human place in nature. So this is the wording from the preamble of our charter. This motivated me to bring together people, bring people together and creating kind of love and wisdom together. Like in every Ecopeace Teen Cafe community meetings, we can see like how wisdom is gathering. Like young people, they always teach me lots of things, and I was sometimes I really wonder like how they shared about equality and equity during the COVID time. The child who's just 13 years old was sharing about how the process of vaccination is also affecting the equity. Like some of the people have no access to it during that time. So that really for me it's like a great thing that we did, like how young people are keen about things happening on the world and how they wanted to do something, and they are really looking for some kind of support to take actions or some kind of initiatives to come together and voice up. So we did that, and we give that platform for young people. And this is power of compassionate action. So this year we decided to focus more on climate actions, and I believe that the current environment we are facing, the challenges of climate change, and we have to take, or we have to see the climate change as the greatest potential that can bring people together. We know like how climate change affect everyone, and how it like the floods happened in South Korea, floods happening in India, and floods happening in like everywhere, like in Pakistan, in almost every countries, and cyclones are like happening every time, and lots of destructions are happened. And scientists were always say that like this is just a beginning, we are going to see a lot more in the coming time. So this all makes us to think like how we can act and how the people can come together and act. So I believe in small actions of compassion, and I also share this with the young people here. So this year we conducted program with religious communities. This is the one event from my own church. We gathered young people in my diocese, and we were sharing like how climate actions can be taken, like in, like as I said earlier, in limited resources. We always have these financial challenges, and we always have like lots of challenges, and how can we overcome, and how people can come together and take actions, and how we can open our eyes and see the nature. So this is like kind of discussing about how we can come together and bring more actions, and I'm trying to encourage them to take actions and come together as a community. And I believe that when they come together for an action, we build peace through that. When the community comes together, we share the peace and harmony. as Jim said in the introduction, like India is witnessing lots of religious motivated violence and lots of violence are happening. So we need to overcome this. As I also mentioned earlier, like when I was young, this religious motivated violence is something new for me, because I'm from a peaceful area, and at that time I thought that I belong to a peaceful community, and I don't have any kind of conflict history, like any of my family members or any distant relatives never affected violence, direct violence. So at that point, I feel like I wanted to share my peaceful experience with the world, and I really wanted to do. But then I grew up and I started reading the history. Then I know that India also witnessed various kind of violence at different points of time. And especially we had a partition history, but during my childhood, I never know that, like I know there is independence struggle. We struggled a lot to get independence, but still there is the history of partition is unheard. We only read when we grew up, and then we get time to like reflect and realize this much of partition history is there. People are still in traumas, and when we talk to people who really affected with the partition, we can still know that how traumatic the incidents are, and intergenerational trauma is there. So this all like came to my mind only in my 20s, actually, like in later teenage, like 18, 19, then only I came to understand the situation of my own country. So that's why I'm taking this like knowledge to young people and make them realize what's really happening. And sometimes I also think that I learned about climate change at younger age, but I never knew like how to take action and how can I contribute that issues. So I feel like we need to communicate all these issues with the young people there and with the teenagers there. Then only they can also come and bring more actions. So that's why I choose this group of young people, and I also choose religious communities, because I always believe that religious leaders can communicate with a bigger group of people. Like in almost in every session of Ecopeace, we accommodate like 30 people, like our maximum limit is 30. So our 1 hour session will reach to only 30 people. But I always told to my religious leaders that you have the accessibility to like 10,000, more than 10,000 people sometimes in a gathering. So use this opportunity to share about the climate change also. Like in every holy scripture, we can see how nature is important. Like every sentence, we can see some kind of reflections or metaphors on nature. So nature is that much important. So please try to share that message with the people, with the faith community, so you can also inspire these people to take action, especially like when we have Lent period. Please share the message of climate actions also. Like when we like during that period in India, we were trying to be like more vegetarian, like use more vegetarian diet. So that can be seen as a climate action also. So use these small things to bring like a consciousness for climate actions. So this way we can create smaller changes. And when we talk this message with the young people, we are making them aware. And I always tell them, like when tomorrow when you become a CEO of the company, you are taking bigger decision that can be affected different stakeholders. So when you take a decision, please think about the 7th generation that are coming in. So you are for that, you don't need to be a CEO, but in everyday life, whenever you take a decision, think about the 7th generation. They are going to be affected. So like that, we just communicate this kind of messages with them. Think twice and think environment first. Think about the peaceful lifestyle. So the climate change can also lead to conflicts. That's also coming up in the research and studies, that how climate change can impact the social and political condition, and that can also worsen the situations. So we need to analyze and we need to understand such situations and take more actions in that way. And action should be like compassionate, action should be share more love, more caring with the communities where we are. And these are the some actions we did. And as I mentioned earlier, we had a program in African region in French language. So people were planting trees. So we have an initiative called Plant a Peace Tree in Home. So why we call it the peace tree? That also has an like an influence from my life in Costa Rica. So I was not a nature person since like till 2018. When I was there in Costa Rica for my master's, I traveled like almost 9 kilometers from my home, to the university, and we traveled through forest. So every day I observe the nature more, and I realized that for while traveling, when I observe the nature more, I started loving nature more, and that also bring more peace to me. Like that really changed my behavior also. Like that makes me more lighter and more simple person. And also the people, like the staff at Charter International, also taught me like how to love nature. Like even during their work time, if there is a toucan comes to the office, they just leave the office. Even they are in the meeting, they just leave that place and come out of the office and see the birds. So that's how they love nature, and that also impacted me a lot. And I started thinking, I never think about loving nature in this way. Like if a bird comes, like it comes and go, I never watch with that much of curiousness or that much of love. But after that, I also started to do like that, and I started to see how that impact my life and how that changed my life. So through Ecopeace Teen Cafe, I started telling these teenagers to plant a peace tree in your home and water it, observe the growth, and be with the tree for some time and observe it, talk to it, and feel the growth, and feel how the nature and how the tree grows. And as the tree grows, you are also growing with the tree. And write a peace reflection every day. Like after watering the plant, write a peace reflection on your diary and see how what changes happen to your life and how changes happening. Are you become more peaceful person, or are you become like more compassionate person? So we have this initiative like plant a peace tree, and also this Earth Day we distribute trees with the collaboration with Peace Department. We distributed trees for the young people, and we asked them to done the same, like plant peace tree at home and observe the growth, and write down a peace reflection and see what changes happens and what changes bring to you, and how humble you are after planting a tree and observe it. So that was the initiative we did, and this is compassionate action we are giving for our nature. Sorry. And impact of Ecopeace Teen Cafe. So as I mentioned, we reached 4 continents. We are in Asia, Latin America, and we recently started a program in North America. And we had programs in Africa and Latin America, and we reached 25 countries and almost like more than 500 people. We reached to more than 500 people. And this is the statistics, like this is the number we have, but I believe the main impact is like how we reach to the people and how we influence them to take actions. So when I started Ecopeace Teen Cafe, what I thought about the initiative is like, I am with interfaith peace building for now, it's like more than 15 years. So majority of my life is like attending interfaith dialogues, attending conference, traveling to different places. So there always some kind of dialogues are happening, some kinds of learnings are happening, meeting new people. So I should use this learnings, and I should share this learning with the people and engage people more, and share this legacy with people. So that was my initial thought when I started Ecopeace Teen Cafe. And also I feel like when we have dialogues, like that's why we say like let's dialogue and act. After this dialogue sessions or after completing one of our training program, this students and volunteers should be able to start something their own, and this message should share with the communities, with the local communities there. So we provide toolkits for these young people. We have climate action toolkit, and in that we share like how each day should be, like what kind of action can be taken on day 1 and day 2, and spend some time with your family. And if we are talking about gender equality, we talk about how can we ensure gender equality at home. So for that we ask the students for a coffee chat with your family. Sit with your father, sit with your mother, and have a family chat and ask your father like how we can ensure equality at home. Do our mother has enough time to do her interest things, or are we supporting her in cooking, or are we supporting her in achieving her dreams? So like that, also ask your father like what's your wish, and are you happy with the life, and what we can do more, and how can we ensure that our sisters are having a safe life, and how can we create more gender equality at home. So these are the examples of activities we are having. And sometimes we ask our kids to go for a walk with the family members and see nature, and take picture and share it on your social media, and ask others also to take your family members going and go for a walk and share that picture. And while you walk, listen to the music of nature, listen, see new birds and observe it, study more, and know nature better and love nature more. So I believe that by with the nature we can be like more peaceful person, and this peace helps to make community peaceful. Like inner peace, we need inner peace. This inner peace can transform, like share to the interpersonal peace building, and then that can be to the community, and that can reach to the world. So this is how we talk with the children, and this is how we encourage them to be the ambassadors of peace. So we need more peaceful people, and then only we can build a peaceful world. And when I'm talking to you, like like talking, and while I'm talking, I'm also like smiling, but I believe that smiling can bring lots of peace. So but at this moment also we are experiencing violence at different parts of the world, and even in India, like we are witnessing violence, and women are attacked everywhere, and every corner women and young people are getting attacked. So we need to create peaceful paths, and we need to educate our younger, and not just younger people, but for the adults also. We need to communicate the message of peace through our action, and we need to share the love with the people. Then only love can be transferred to others also. Like if we talk more um, more hate will be there for everywhere, and it can move very fast. So we need to share the peace and love within us to others. And I also believe that only love can bring love, and hate never can do that. So we need to share the love and peace with the communities. So we are creating peace pathways for the generations to come. So one of our dialogue are with the atomic bomb survivors. So during these calls, we have a conversation with the atomic bomb survivors, and they were sharing their stories and how they survived the atomic bomb and how it affected their childhood, and how the visuals they are like she's at her 90s, but she still remember those days, and she was crying during her presentation while sharing about her experience. And we have these conversations to educate people about our histories, our past, and how we come through it, and how we overcome these situations. And I remember one of my friend from Japan, she was sharing that uh, her her sister-in-law has cancer, and when she has this health condition, she was saying that this happened because of her mother. Like this cancer comes from her mother, so that made her mother-in-law made like a bad situation. Like she also feel very bad about that, but this is not their mistake. This is happened during the war, but still the generations are affecting due to that incident. So we know like there are like different narratives are there, some different perspectives from different parts of the world, but when we as humans, when we affected these situations, we need to be like more compassionate and more kindful to each other. And also we need to take all the actions to protect our generations and our coming generations, and we need to avoid such situations. So then only we can move forward. So we need to forgive, and but never forget the situations that give us negative effects. We need to remember, and also we need to work that these situations are work to ensure that these situations never happened anymore in the world. But we know that the wars are going on in Ukraine and Russia, and situations are bad, like but still we need to be hopeful. That's why we are here to share the hope. Ecopeace Teen Cafe is always trying to share the hope with the younger generations. Last year, I was there, was attending one of the Religion for Peace conference, and I met young people there. They are they are teenagers, and they were sharing in one of our breakout sessions. We were talking about the coming years and how we can act and how we can take more actions. But these young people, they are school going children, and they were sharing that why we need to take actions. Anyway, we are going to die in 10 years. Then why we need to take action? We just need to have a good life. We just need to celebrate our life before dying. So that's they were like very normal while sharing this. Their eyes were like very cool, and they were like, okay, we accept that we are not going to die, so we are not going to take any climate actions or anything, we are not going to think about the nature. We are going to celebrate our life. Because why? Because we are going to die soon. So for me, this is like uh, that moment was so like shocking, and I told them that's why I created Ecopeace Teen Cafe. Ecopeace Teen Cafe share hope. We bring young people together and we ask them to take the actions with love, and we are seeing there is a world which is um, welcome all of you like to have a good life. That for that we need to take action, we need to be positive, we need to spread love. Your love can reach more people. So every time we need to give them kind of like positive thoughts, and we need to like share this love with them. So like this project I was initially planned just for 6-month project as part of my like peace education part. I wanted to experience how to implement a project, so I was doing this for learning myself, and also it's a part of my passion, so I wanted to share the legacy. But I at that point I never thought in a long term. But the sharing of these young people from Spain motivated me to do more, and that motivates me to commit to my goal and commit to my passion, because like I know this journey is not so easy. Like every day it's a challenging, like in terms of different condition. Every day there is some kind of challenges. I have to face lots of people, I have to give answers to lots of questions. But the witnessing the hopelessness in the life of these teenagers from Spain, um like motivates me to commit this goal. Like I decided that moment, I know this journey is not going to be that easy, but definitely we will do our part, and we will the team Ecopeace Teen Cafe will be there for all the younger generation, and we will reach us as much as we can, and we will um, go to all the regions. So that's why we started in North America, and there we had like difficulties in getting people there and communicating, sharing this message. But we are trying harder and harder to reach more people and bring them together and inspire them to take climate actions, not just climate action, but in actions on social justice, and do more peace building programs for all, and sharing the message of peace with everyone. So that's how we are going to create a peaceful path. And this year we are working more with the religious leaders, and I'm trying to bring all the religious together and having more conversations with them and spread more positivity and spread more connections. And I witnessed, like I experienced lots of love and lots of care from the people around the world, and I have seen how people support me. And especially I always share that when we have a passion, when we have something to make it possible, like especially making impossible the possible, people will be there. If we don't have any resources to move on, but people will be definitely there, and you will find the right person at the right moment to help you. Like whenever you stuck at some point, you will definitely get some kind of help. So this is how I find Ecopeace Teen Cafe working. So I am just here to share the love I received, and I also sharing the legacy of peace and love with all the generations, and inspiring others through Ecopeace Teen Cafe. So yeah, thank you so much, and I'm open to uh, questions and open to the dialogue part. And I'm taking this moment to say big thanks to Jim for giving me this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Greshma. Thank you very much. It's always inspiring to hear people like you who are so full of enthusiasm and hope and possibility in this fairly turbulent world. So I want to commend you doubly so because I think the way that you're combining peace building with climate action is exactly the combination that we need in the world, because these two issues of bringing peaceful relations between humanity together with peaceful relations between humanity and the earth could not be more important because the climate turbulence is causing all kinds of duress to people all over the world, and that in turn causes social, political, and economic disturbances, which exacerbate the tensions that are already there underneath the surface. So what you're doing could not be more important. And I'm very glad to see that you're expanding to different places around the world. So good for you. That's amazing that you're growing in such an interesting way. So I'd like to begin with just touching on the way I was introducing this program today around the increasing ethnic and sectarian violence in India, which is normally associated as a conflict between Hindu and Muslim, but increasingly Christians are being drawn into the conflict. And given, the fact that you've been at it now for 15 years or so, I would appreciate just hearing from you. How are you understanding the causes of this escalating sectarian violence in your country?
Yeah, so I think this violence is between two groups, and then suddenly it becomes like a attack towards Christian community also, like started with two tribals and suddenly started attacking the Christian communities and Christian churches there. And also from the past 2 months, we were getting lots of information like through the ground reporters, but not but we don't have any visual records before, like last 2 days there are like more informations are coming up regarding the violence. But I think like these issues are starting many years ago already, like because of the policies from the government side, and it's the mostly there is kind of extremism, Hindutva extremism is there. So there is like lots of agenda against the minorities and also the people who are following the different religions. So there are lots of tensions happening and lots of political agendas are going on. So that's how now it becomes to like in a uncontrollable level of violence, and people started attacking, and even some of the priests who were working in these regions, they were sharing that these people were all living in peace together, but suddenly some verdict come from the High Court regarding the status of one community. The violence broke out, and then suddenly people don't know each other. They just started firing and also attacking women. And earlier they all live in peace, but suddenly some hate happened. The violence also broke out. And as we learn about different histories of different countries, we can see like the tensions going like this. Suddenly one spark comes and then things are going out of control. So as people, we need to understand also like how situations are and why political leaders has their own agenda. So I think people need to think in more like a critical thinking way. Like every time when we hear a speech or when we listen to the speech, we need to think in diverse perspectives. And then only we can overcome that. I think so. And even before this incidents, I had conversation with different religious leaders, and uh, they were not seeing this as that much seriousness before, but now they understood what was happening in the country. But now it's too late, I think. But we need to stay positive and stay talk, like we need to voice out and we need to share our voice more louder, and it should hear um, uh, by the leaders of the country. They have to take the actions, and the leaders are still in the silence, and that silence is creating more panic in the country.
Yes, it's very true. And I know that much of the sectarian violence is in the north of India, and Kerala province has long been known for its harmony between the different religious and sectarian groups. But even in Kerala, there's been sectarian violence, if I remember correctly, against the Christian communities. And you're part of the Christian community, right? That's your faith. Yeah. Tell us a little bit more about the specifics of what's been going on in Kerala.
Right now in Kerala, like we don't have that kind of violence. Still we are living in peace, but as a Keralite, like as a person from Kerala, I always feel that people listen to these talks and they suddenly like kind of we have kind of conversations are happening everywhere, but no one goes for that kind of violence, because before that people will think again like we are going to attack our own brothers and sisters. I feel so like as I mentioned in my presentation, we are living together and we are sharing our food, and we don't have any issues. Um, um, like during my school days, that's how we grew up. But these days, I can see there are differences. People talking about their religions and identify with their religion, like especially school students and young people. And that actually alarmed me, and feel like I need to start some initiatives to bring together people and having this conversation with the religious leaders also. They were worried that they will be attacked by some other communities, or people will be converted. So that kind of initial tensions are there, but that didn't reach to kind of like an armed violence or violence thing. But the tensions are there. I can feel the tensions, but but I think people are more educated here. Like when compared to North, here people are more literate. So they have this access to the news and newspapers, and also we like in small communities, we have these discussions happened in every corner of Kerala. I feel like that's the speciality, that even in a tea shop, we have this kind of discussions. They were analyzing how the situation and how the political party think about, even though different perspectives are there, but people are ready to talk about it. And sometimes it's kind of arguments are there, but it's like a healthy arguments.
Yeah, for sure. And then let's talk a little bit about the sexual violence that's been going on and the assaults that have made global headlines all over the world. given what's been happening with these women being dragged out and stripped naked and paraded through the streets and so forth. What's your understanding of the relationship between the sectarian violence and the violence against women? Do you see them as interconnected, or are they just happening in different areas for different reasons?
I'm thinking like whenever there is a conflict, it always like women are more vulnerable to all the conflicts. So I was deeply reflecting on this for the past few days, and during my course in Costa Rica, like we were focusing more on women peace builder. Like I was focusing more on women peace builders and their initiatives, and we can see in even in African countries also, like women were attacked, and here in India, this scene is like really shocking. And even we are hearing this news for the last 2 months, and now the video is coming up, and I was thinking about the victim also. Like the video is everywhere in the every corner of the world, and sometimes I feel like the victim is keep on like attacked by this video, which is like on public. And um I'm also like really worried, and India is like, sometimes we call like, we know rape is like a common thing in India, like women are always attacked, and it's a patriarchal society, and we always have fear. And I am from a very village area, and I never go out of home after 7. I'm talking about me, like my personal experience. And even
Wow.
I traveled a lot, and like I studied abroad, and I still traveling a lot, but I feel more safe when I'm out. This is like very personal experience. I try to avoid I tried to be safe at home and don't want to take risk. And also like our parents also wanted to be like in a more safer space, but this is different in different parts of the country. But I'm telling about the situation of my village, and how we as women living in a very common middle class families, we stayed at home because of the safety. So this is this is happening. We need to talk about the situation, but
Mhm.
still, like when I am sharing, I am worried like how this is going to be like affecting me, like after this conference, like after this call, like how these things are going to affect me also. So yeah, like situations are like really bad. And sometimes like I started writing more, and I was writing that we have to stand, and we need peace, and we have to show all the courage to come out of these situations. Yeah, and we need to find peace at any cost.
Yes, for sure, for sure. Well, it's an extraordinary thing that even where you are in Kerala, which, as you say, is one of the best educated, most tolerant, and prosperous provinces in all of India. I've been there, and having traveled in other parts of India, when you get to Kerala, you can just sort of feel the difference in the sort of the standard of living and in the way people interact. But it's a little shocking to hear that even there, and someone like you, doesn't go out after 7 o'clock unaccompanied, just as a matter of habit. It's a sad commentary on our world, because it's obviously not just India where there's sexual assault and sectarian violence. It's happening all over the world. Then, of course, in the United States, in addition to all that, we have mass shootings and all the other things that indicate dis-ease in the public consciousness and in human relations. And so for you, in the midst of all that, Greshma, to be doing what you're doing in such an inspiring way is really part of why I wanted to have you on, because you exemplify what Humanity Rising is all about. And so I just want to thank you for everything that you're doing in the world to inspire other young people to take action in this interface between peaceful human relations and peaceful relations between humanity and the larger ecosystem. So as we close, is there any final words that you would like to say to our global audience?
I just wanted to thank this opportunity that given to me, like to share my thoughts with you all. And as a peace builder, I said it's always challenging, and in all the challenges, we are still standing for peace and justice. So the people who are listening to me also, I know everyone is a peace builder, every human is a peace builder, every day we are resolving lots of conflicts in our life. So stay calm, stay positive, and share the love, and always be grateful for what we have and what we received. We are amazing humans. We need to share the love we received from our ancestors, and we have to share that love and peace to the generations to come, and we need to give a peaceful earth for all the generations to come. Thank you.
Share the love, everyone. This is Greshma Raju from South India, who's graced us today. Greshma, thank you so much. That'll bring our program to a close. You're all welcome to the after session chat. You'll see the link in the chat box. Greshma is going to be joining. And I wanted to also just say, as we close, a word about the next 4 days. We're going to be having a 4-day program starting tomorrow on what is being called a moonshot for men. You know, how men as men can come to terms with some of the emerging scientific realities around the genetic differences between men and women, around the reality that men all over the world, whether it's in India, South Asia, China, United States, Latin America, universally, women live significantly longer on average than men do. And so we're going to be looking at some of the latest research and focusing in on how men can improve their both longevity, but also just general well-being by listening to women and how the women do it. So that'll be our program over the next 4 days. And then that will conclude Humanity Rising for the month of July. And then we'll be taking the month of August off as we have since we started back in 2020. And then we'll resume at the end of the first week of September. And already we have a full program for the fall that is very, very exciting. But we'll be sending information out to all of you. But I just wanted to alert everyone that this will be our final week before we take a break for August, and that the next 4 days will be on a moonshot for men. So again, thank you, Greshma. Thank you all. You're welcome to the after session chat group. And then we'll see you again here tomorrow on Humanity Rising. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Greshma.